Hi, Tribe. Very excited today because we have a lovely guest with us. This is Rachel from Release Find Peace. Welcome, Rachel. Rachel's
Thank
also a Tribe admin, so she's kindly offered to give us a demonstration of some EFT tapping and also just to share her experience and her journey with us. So, welcome, Rachel.
thank you very much. Thank you for having me today.
It's our pleasure. So,
So, sorry.
That's okay. So I was just going to start by asking you to share with the tribe what it is that you do, because it will be helpful to our members for sure.
Yeah, okay. Well, I do a number of things, but central to my work is tapping, or its proper name is EFT, which is Emotional Freedom Technique. Um, so it's a fantastic tool, and it's becoming much more mainstream now. However, I'm very aware that when we first start to do tapping, and I think you maybe felt like this at the beginning as well, when we first start to do tapping, it can feel quite strange. It is a technique that I think a lot of people see it first off and kind of say, what are they doing? It's quite bizarre to start with, but when you feel and see the benefits, it's phenomenal. It really is phenomenal. So EFT is it's acupuncture without needles. That's the best way to describe it. So I talk about it as an East meets West therapy. So we've got the acupuncture side, but we're not using needles. We're either tapping or massaging or rubbing specific points that are all on the upper half of the body. And while we're doing that, we're talking about issues that are present for us at the time. Um, and it's an energy treatment. And the best way to describe energy is, when you feel something. So say you have an event happen in your life and it gives you that feeling. Maybe your tummy flips over, maybe you go and you get that feeling in your chest, maybe your throat constricts, maybe you feel something in your head. We've all felt those feelings before, and EFT is fantastic for working with those energetic feelings, with those responses, because those responses are what creates it's kind of a disturbance, I suppose, in our energetic field. So when we use the tapping, it just takes the disturbance out and allows us just to move forward in life without carrying these big energies around with us.
Wow,
That
it
makes
sounds
sense?
yeah, it sounds absolutely amazing. And I have tried EFT tapping before. We learnt some in our college group, and it is so powerful
Yeah.
because it just releases trapped energy and emotions. And I mean, you explained it far better than I can, but it is so powerful, and it's really exciting to be able to share this tool with you guys because I think it's going to be so helpful. And be really interested to hear, Rachel, how you got into this and your background and your journey to where you are today.
Well, I I've always worked with people. I've always been in the service industry. I've always been a teacher. I've taught exercise for 30 years in various forms. And when I had my children, I had two children, and after my second child, I had postnatal depression. I didn't realize I had postnatal depression. I had panic attacks, and they really did get severe, and to the point where I ended up in hospital a number of times, convinced as I was that I was going to leave the earth during one of my panic attacks. And the last time I went to the hospital, the paramedic said to me, bearing in mind I'd had my son 6 months before, said, have you ever been talked to about postnatal depression? This is very common with panic attacks. And anyway, this started off a whole journey for me of I didn't really want to take medication at this point. That was my choice. I've always been quite holistic in my view for myself. And so I started doing some research and came across EFT and started administering to myself, and it worked. And literally, my panic attacks stopped almost immediately. And so I went on a course because I'm a learner. And so I went on a course because I needed to know more. And just I had so many validations of how powerful the tool was in that weekend and all the subsequent weekends. I just went through to advanced. And then I started learning Reiki. Um, and just the alchemy continued. I've sort of I've studied homeopathy with Helen Johnson for a couple of years. I'm not a qualified homeopath, but so it's certainly lots of tools that I've learned along the way. And yeah, so I have this kind of alchemy now that I use, and just so I'm so blessed, I feel, to have this expansive toolkit now, especially during these times. You know, the world that we live in at the moment, everything does seem to move quite fast, and so having a tool where it's completely empowering. You've got these tools are inbuilt, and the lovely thing also about these tools that I recognized very early on was that my body wants to use them anyway. Without me even knowing what I was doing, I was already accessing emotional sites. Here I am. This is called the oh my god point in energy medicine. When we are, oh my god, and when we do this, we've got blood coming forward to our hands because our hands are magnetic. So is our blood. So the minute we go here to oh my god, if something happens, we are keeping clarity because we're keeping the blood in the forebrain. Here we are over our heart chakra, where we've got our thymus gland here as well. And, we're getting all the blood into this area, like, protecting our heart from what we're hearing, and then bringing these points here. We're bringing our hands to these points here, our kidney points, where we're letting go of excess energy, toxic energy. Finger points, I always talk about Deborah Meaden because this is what she does on Dragon's Den. I don't know if she knows she's doing EFT.
Oh,
I don't know, but
wow.
she is doing EFT because she's touching all of her circuitry when she's doing this, or the meridian ends of the meridian lines. And she also does a lot of this, and so do we. And here we are touching the ends of our meridian lines. So the body wants to do it anyway. And that's what I love about it, is that we're already using these sites. We just don't know we're using them. And this is what I love about it. It's, I could talk about it all day long, but I know we haven't got all day long.
No, I love the passion and the enthusiasm you have for it. I love that you've kind of weaved and created this alchemy of different tools that you can use. And like you said, and for people in the group, it's bringing conscious awareness to the fact that they have these tools, because then when they are feeling anxiety, which I think all of us are feeling some level of anxiety right now. I mean, for me personally, the fear of potential job losses is quite a big one. I've worked full time since I was 18 years old. I've never not had a job,
Mm-hmm,
never been fired from a job, I've
mm-hmm,
never been made redundant. So for me, that potential threat of being in that situation, just it puts me in
mm.
fear mode. So I'm hoping you can help me with that.
I can certainly help you with that. Yes, I think, that most of the biggest thing that we need to do is to start working on new pathways so that we can and 95% of what we do is subconscious. We don't even know we're doing it. So, the more we start to become conscious to our emotions, the more we can work with them. And this is a great tool to do that. So, recognizing that, we're feeling anxious at the moment, specifically around work. So if I was to work with you now, and for anybody that's watching can tap along, because we have something called borrowing benefits in EFT. It's an energy treatment, so we can just tap along. We don't even have to be feeling the same thing that you're feeling to get some benefit from the tapping, as people will find out as we go. I would love to do some work with you, but I do need to just say before we start that we use a lot of face points in EFT, and we do need to make sure we've got clean hands. My hands are clean before I've come on here today. And if you don't want to tap on the face points, you can just do the head point here and then come straight down onto the collarbone. Don't do the face points and just stay on the collarbone until we get down to that point. Okay, so do you have any hand gel or anything?
My
Brilliant.
sanitizer here ready, so I'm going to
Okay,
sanitize my hands because it's very
okay,
important, especially right now.
yes. So I'm just readjusting a bit so that because
No
there's some
worries.
points that we go under the arms here.
Okay.
So
Okay.
okay. So yes, for anyone watching, if we're going to start doing EFT, the first thing we need to say is, well, you know, you've said to me there's some anxiety for you around work and possible redundancy.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you have that thought, how does it feel?
It feels like dread, and it's all around the
Red.
solar plexus area.
Beautiful. Okay, and what does that feel like in your solar plexus area? How
Heavy,
do you know it's there?
just why it feels really
Okay,
heavy, and like butterflies in my stomach as well, like heavy butterflies.
okay. So heavy butterflies. And so often when we're doing EFT, we ask for something called a SUDS level, and SUDS level is a subjective unit of distress. Okay, so what we're basically saying is, how big is this? So if 10 was, wow, those butterflies are really heavy and it's really intense, and 0 was not at all, where would you be on that scale? What's the first number that comes into your head?
Really like a 9, right up there.
Wow, okay,
Yeah.
okay. So you've got a feeling of dread in your solar plexus,
Yeah.
and it's work related because you might be made redundant. Are
Yeah.
those the words you'd use?
Yeah. Yes. No,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah. It's the fear of, yeah, losing your job.
Fear of losing job. The reason I'm asking for your words specifically is because I can use my words, but my body speaks my language and your body speaks your language. So you want to talk to your body like it's your best friend. So you're kind of saying, I'm listening to you, I can hear you, and I'm here to help you. Yeah. And so if I'm using my words, it's not going to be the same as it is using your own words, because your own words are your language that you've been speaking all your life, you know. So does that make sense to you that you would use your words?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so when we start tapping, we start on what we call the karate chop. So we've got the side of the hand here, and it's called the karate chop because that's what we'd do if we were doing a karate chop. So
Yeah.
this is where we'd make a setup statement. Okay, so you can get 2 fingers here and gently tap, just lightly. You don't have to tap hard. And this is where some people kind of get a bit self-conscious about the tapping when we start to talk at the same time, but we're going to say a statement about how we're feeling, and then we're going to say a statement about an affirmation, if you like. So it's kind of this is how I feel, but it's okay. So we're saying, you know, with the subconscious mind, oh, I feel like this, and the conscious mind is saying, but right here and now, actually, you're okay. You're sitting there. You're fine. You look fine. Yeah. So we're just bringing that 5% consciousness in and saying, you're okay because you are. Right now, you are. Okay.
Okay.
So you're going to repeat everything I say.
Okay.
And if anyone's watching now, you can repeat as well everything we say, or you can add your own words as well. So if you have a different level of fear about something, just add that in instead. You don't have to say fear of losing a job. Okay, so you're going to say, even though
Even though
I have this fear
I have this fear
of losing my job,
of losing my job,
it's a big fear.
it's a big fear.
Take a deep. So we might feel some emotion coming up because this might be a fear that we've been kind of holding at arm's length and saying, no, can't think about that one. So, feel free to have a little cry, or sometimes we yawn, sometimes we burp. There's all sorts of ways of releasing. Okay. I have this feeling
I have this feeling
in my solar plexus
in my solar plexus.
when I think about this fear.
When I think about this fear,
It feels like
it feels like
heavy butterflies.
heavy butterflies.
But here and now,
But here and now,
I am okay.
I am okay.
Even though
Even though
I've got this dread
I've got this dread
in my solar plexus,
in my solar plexus,
I accept it.
I accept it.
And all these emotions,
And all these emotions,
I accept those too.
I accept those too.
Okay, so now we're going to tap on the top of the head. And we're going to do something called a reminder phrase or a repeated phrase. Okay, so all of this dread,
All of this dread,
and then the beginning of the eyebrow, all of this dread.
all of this dread,
So you
this
come to the
fear,
beginning of the eyebrow, that's
yeah,
it, good. And then the end of the eyebrow, in my solar plexus,
in my solar plexus.
under the eye, these heavy butterflies,
These heavy butterflies,
under the nose. What if,
what if,
under the lip? What if,
what if,
collarbone? I use both hands here. Doesn't matter what side you do. People always ask me that. Do I have to tap each side? No, just so here, just have a little tap all around so you hit the points. What if,
what if,
under the arm, this fear of losing my job
this fear of losing my job,
in my solar plexus.
in my solar plexus.
Okay, so let's use these finger points. So we're going to come onto the side of the nail bed here. Okay, this fear in my solar plexus.
This fear in my solar plexus,
This fear in my solar plexus.
this fear in my solar plexus,
This fear.
this fear,
This dread.
this dread,
All of this dread.
all of this dread.
Back onto the karate chop. Okay, take a deep breath. And out. Okay, so we started at 9. Has it gone up? Has it gone down?
Probably to like a 7, so it's
A
definitely come
7.
down. Yeah, the energy's moved.
Okay. Okay. So we'll do another because 7 is still quite high.
Yeah,
So we're going to do another round. Okay. This remaining dread
this remaining dread
in my solar plexus.
in my solar plexus.
What color is that dread?
It's like sludge, brownie sludge.
Brown sludge. Okay.
Brown
This
sludge.
brown sludge
It's brown sludge
in my solar plexus.
in my solar plexus.
I'm okay.
I'm okay.
Here and now,
Here and now,
my job is safe.
my job is safe.
But I'm imagining
I'm imagining
all sorts of things in the future.
all sorts of things in the future.
But here and now,
But here and now,
which is where we are,
which is where we are,
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
Top of the head. Brown sludge
Brown sludge
in my solar plexus.
in my solar plexus.
I'm safe.
I'm safe.
I choose to feel safe.
I choose to feel safe.
But there's a part of me
But there's a part of me
that's really worried,
that's really worried,
dreading.
dreading.
I know I'm safe right now.
But I know I'm safe right now.
I choose to stay calm
I choose to stay calm.
under the arm. Are the heavy butterflies still there?
No, there's less butterflies now. It's more just a slight there's a slight feeling still there, but I think it's definitely the butterflies have gone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go through the finger points.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're on the side of the thumb.
Yeah.
Take a deep breath, finger and out. What number are we at now?
Probably about a three. It's gone down quite a lot.
Amazing. So can you see how this works? So, ideally we want to go down to 0.
Yeah.
However, as we've already noted, the aspects have shifted a bit. So the butterflies have gone,
Yeah.
then the brown sludge came. So there might be a different emotion now. We might be saying, oh, well, I don't feel the dread anymore. I just feel a bit nervous.
Mm.
So then that's the shifting aspect. So then we'd work with that. So it's good to work with a piece of paper and a pen and write down these things as they change.
Yeah. So powerful. So
Yeah.
powerful. Definitely feeling a lot lighter. Just, and that's only a couple of
Mm.
rounds. And if you did that for 5 minutes every day, I can just imagine the
Oh, yeah.
impact that would have.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing about it. It's so empowering because you say, "Oh, I feel like this," and rather than sitting and stewing in that feeling, you just tap,
Yeah.
and within minutes, and even if you're out on your walk, your one bit of exercise that you have every day. I wouldn't recommend this, obviously, if you're riding a bike or anything, but if you're out on your walk, you can just. I've done this regularly. I've gone out for my walk and I've just tapped and sang or spoken out loud what I'm feeling at that moment. It's you can just use one spot. That's why I'm here, using this spot. Just this is my first aid point here, and I would encourage anybody just to use a first aid point. If you don't want to do the full routine, and if the only thing you remember from today's talk is one point, because it felt really good when you got to that point, be on that point. So here for me is mine, and it's immediate. I mean, for me, this is just totally immediate. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, so powerful. And hopefully, our lovely tribe members will benefit from that. And I mean, if they have any questions, is there any way for them to be able to reach out to you?
Yes, well, I do have a Facebook page, which is release dash, I can't remember if it's release dash find peace or release find dash peace. I think it's release dash find peace. Also, I have a website, which is releasefindpeace.co.uk. So yeah, lots of ways of reaching out to me. But as I say, I do have the Facebook page, and I'm doing some tapping on there 3 times a week at the moment. I also have some private groups that I'm running for anyone that wants a bit more sort of specific tapping. Yeah.
Amazing. So lots, yeah,
Yes.
lots of ways to contact you, and it sounds like you're doing a lot to help people during this uncertain time. So that's just fantastic.
Well, I think it's, what I was saying earlier about borrowing benefits, with the communities that I've got, I borrow the benefits as well. This is not just a one-way street. This is about all of us. This is what we're learning at the moment, I think, is that we are one. We really are one. We are one with every single thing on the planet. And what affects one affects us all. And so, when we're helping each other, and that ripple, off it goes. Yeah, and I love it. It's so it feeds me as much as much as it feeds other people. Yeah.
So, so beautiful. Thank you so much for giving the tribe your time today. And do you have any sort of passing words for us before we end our interview today?
I just want to say tap, breathe, um, be present. I mean, I think in everything that's been happening recently, and generally in life, presence is the biggest gift you can give yourself. You know, right now is what you've got now. So, you know, bring yourself back to the moment whenever you can, knowing that right now you are okay, you know, and because we just don't have power. I mean, and this is the main area I work in, is power and powerlessness. And, you know, most of our stuff is about being powerless. So, where's your power? Well, it's not back there and it's not up there to the future. Our power is now, now, now. So be present. That's my biggest word of wisdom, really.
I love it, tribe. So yeah, be present and stay in the now because that's the only moment that you have power in. And just keep being bright shining beacons of light, and we're so proud of having you all in our group. It's just such an honor for you all to be here with us. So thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Thank you very much, Rachel, for your time today.
Thank you for being such a willing participant. I hope you're
Absolutely.
feeling lighter.
I do. Thank you. Bye, Rachel.
Lots of love. See you. Bye
Bye.
bye.